This is Global Forum TV. In our new series today, India 2025, we bring you eminent personalities from India and share their vision, comments and opinions about what India would look like in 2025. This is your host, Ameena, Saeed.
The mantra to understand India is Gandhi. Once you understand Gandhi, then you know the way out is there.
If you are going to promote chauvinism of the majority, or what I call chauvinism of the majority, either through the BJP, the opposition Bharatiya Janata Party, or otherwise through one of its ancillaries of what is called the Sangh Parivar, you're going to atomize the Indian political scene.
The rift is going to be with China.
Okay.
India will become, as far as some of the core issues of the world are concerned, the global laboratory. Income inequalities have never been more explosive than they are today. I mean, you know, it's always been an unequal and hierarchical society.
India is a very stabilizing force. Indian history, Indian culture, and Indian population, the Indian immigrants abroad, all this shows that India is an extraordinarily stabilizing force with the capacity for integration.
The whole world is looking at India as the future of this entire globe.
A great country, a proud country, but a country which under capitalism is unfortunately very much unequal. A country in which a part is the urban India and the rest is rural Bharat.
This is Global Forum TV, a platform for global issues with global perspectives in today's global village. In our series, India 2025, we bring you eminent personalities from India. And today we have one such person with us. Her name is Dr. Syeda Hameed. Thank you very much for being with us, Dr. Hameed. To say that Ms. Syeda Hameed is a member planning commission of India is enough to say how accomplished she is. But underlying these accomplishments, there are many more. She is the founder member of Muslim Women's Forum. This forum is involved in legal literacy for Muslim women, for voicing concerns of Muslim women to government and interfacing with ulemas on matters concerning their rights. Syeda is also the founder of Women's Initiative for Peace in South Asia, South Asians for Human Rights, Center for Dialogue and Reconciliation. As a member of National Commission for Women, Government of India, Syeda was in charge of the following areas: Muslim women, violence against women, trafficking of women and children, women in prostitution, political empowerment of women including Panchayati Raj, sexual harassment at workplace, girl child, female ferticide and infanticide, gender and media. Her major publications include They Hang, 12 Women in My Portrait Gallery, Women Unlimited, 2006, My Voice Shall Be Heard, Status of Women, 2003, Muslim Women's Forum, 2003, and Journey for Peace, Women's Bus for Peace from Delhi to Lahore in 2000. Welcome to Global Forum, Dr. Syeda Hameed. It is a pleasure to have you here with us. So, Syeda, you have a book out, a recent book called They Hang. Would you like to tell us something about it?
This book is a compendium of my experiences when I was a member of the National Commission for Women. And the book is called They Hang, 12 Women in My Portrait Gallery. So these are 12 cases. I did hundreds of cases, but I've just selected 12 cases of violence against women. All kinds of violence: sexual violence, psychological violence, emotional violence, physical violence. And basically they're all true stories, but I have turned them into, because I have given their stories, I've turned them into short stories and fiction. But that is really what happens to women. And that is despite the fact that we have, we are trying to make systemic changes. The point is that we have a long way to go. So these 12 women who hang in my portrait gallery are women who have never left my mind for a minute, because they were women who suffered, and women, some of them were able to come out of it and some of them were just succumbed to it. But this actually exemplifies the violent environment that women exist in all over the world.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Was there any justice?
In some cases there was justice, but it takes a long time and sometimes it's too late. I must say that getting actually bringing people before the law and allowing the law to take its own course, sometimes the woman's whole life goes by. So justice, yes, but in terms of percentage, very, very low percent.
All right. So that brings us back to the India 2025 series. How do you see India on the global scene today?
India, there are two Indias today. There is one India which is now in a very globalized world. There is one India which has got a high growth rate, which is aiming at a 10% growth. The whole world is looking at India as the future of this entire globe. And with our tremendous demographic dividend and the fact that we have excelled in so many things, and we are a country which has achieved self-sufficiency long ago, and now we are ready to actually zoom. There is another India which is still caught in another century, which has not really been able to benefit from the growth, from the fruit of development, from actually the impact of development. And so in the Planning Commission, we are now in the process of drafting the 11th plan, and the title of our plan is Towards a Faster and More Inclusive Growth. So the whole objective is that there is an India which is left out, and that is what we want to now encompass.
How would you describe the philosophical orientation of the Planning Commission?
Yeah, that is, to include the excluded. And, we are a country of billion plus today, and we could 25 to 30 to 40% in some states have been left out of this paradigm of growth. So the philosophy of Planning Commission, why we are all here for a certain period of time, is to ensure that in all the sectors we can it's not just a trickle-down effect, but a targeted impact on those who have the traditionally left out communities of people, like the scheduled tribes, the scheduled castes, the minorities, mostly women, lot of children. So it has to, unless the growth is inclusive, it has no meaning.
What are the major assumptions underlying Planning Commission?
Well, there is one very important thing, and that is to unleash the creative power of the private sector. Because a lot of the growth that has occurred, for example, in industry or the service industry or any of the growth sectors, is due to the unleashing of a enormous energy and removing some of the impediments that were actually like a stranglehold on them. So that is something that we have tried to do. We have tried to creatively engage with the private sector, and one of the mantras is to have public-private partnership. There is a lot that we want to do. We want to do a lot in infrastructure, and we feel that the people who have been left behind, people who are at the lower end of the spectrum, there is no reason why they should not benefit from why they should suffer from lack of infrastructure. They also need roads, they also need power, they also need electricity. So how do we actually make it happen? So there is this whole private sector investment, and similarly even in the social sectors, health and education and so on. How do we take health to the lowest unit? So the philosophy of the Planning Commission is to engage the private sector, to engage the voluntary sector, because we have a huge, as you know, India has a huge tradition of philanthropy, starting from this, the charity that we all grew up with, and a huge tradition of that. And from there we have gone to, very sophisticated voluntary organizations with, absolutely state of the art, engage them, but at the same time keep the public sector very front, center and active in areas where normally the private sector would not go. And that is, where what really matters to us.
Okay.